Today, we're diving into something that keeps a lot of business owners up at night: inventory. It can feel like this total chaotic mess of spreadsheets, boxes, and just guesswork. But what if you could actually turn that chaos into a clear, manageable strategy? Well, that's what we're going to break down today, how you can get a real handle on it all. So, let's just start with a really fundamental question. Look at your business. Is your inventory an asset, something that's actively driving sales and growth? Or is it an anchor, just weighing your business down with hidden costs and all kinds of complexity? The difference between the two? It all comes down to how you manage it. This quote really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? I mean, inventory isn't just a bunch of boxes sitting on a shelf. It is the critical promise you make to your customer. When you get it right, your business thrives. But get it wrong, and well, that promise is broken, and you know the dominoes start to fall pretty fast after that. I want you to think of it like walking a tightrope. Seriously, on one side, you've got all the costs of holding way too much stock. And on the other, you've got the risk of losing sales because you don't have enough. So effective inventory management is this constant, really delicate balancing act that touches every single part of your business, from your finances all the way to customer service.
Now, the source material we looked at for this explainer listed over 20 different inventory challenges. And honestly, that's just overwhelming. But when you look closer, you start to see a pattern. So instead of giving you an endless list, we're going to untangle this web by focusing on 3 core problem areas that pretty much every business has to face.
So our first big challenge is all about information, or, the lack of it. Let's call it the data dilemma. It's that struggle of trying to make these super critical decisions while you're navigating this dense fog of inaccurate and inconsistent information. It's like trying to drive with a foggy windshield. So what is this fog actually made of? Well, it's that frustration of inconsistent tracking across like 5 different spreadsheets. It's those costly little errors that creep in from manual data entry. It's the sheer lack of visibility, not really knowing what you have or where it is. It's just the slow, tedious process of trying to do it all by hand. And this really highlights the choice that businesses have to make today. On one hand, you've got the old way, manual spreadsheets. They aren't just slow, they are dangerously prone to human error. But on the other hand, you've got a modern, centralized system that gives you real-time accuracy and can actually grow with your business. The difference isn't small, it's literally night and day. And let's be really clear about why this matters so much. The data dilemma isn't just some accounting headache. Bad data, it always leads to bad business decisions. You order too much, you order too little, and what happens? You get lost sales, and at the end of the day, unhappy customers who are going to find what they need somewhere else. Okay, let's move out of that digital fog and into the physical world. Our second challenge is what we're calling the physical puzzle. This is the tangible, hands-on complexity of managing the actual movement of your goods inside the warehouse. Think about it. Every single product that comes through your doors goes on this exact same journey. It gets received, put away, then it's picked, packed, and finally it's shipped out. Each one of those steps is labor-intensive, and more importantly, each step is a potential point of failure where inefficiency can just creep right in. And what do those failures usually look like? Well, it's inefficient processes that just waste precious time. It's a disorganized warehouse where your staff spends more time searching for things than actually picking them. And, of course, there's the unique headaches of managing stuff that's perishable or fragile. It all adds up to this financial drain of inventory loss, which has a name: shrinkage. Let's be super clear about that term. Inventory shrinkage is the official name for stock that just disappears. Right? Whether it's from theft or damage or simple counting mistakes, it is a direct hit to your bottom line. It's your profit just vanishing into thin air. So, mastering this physical puzzle is absolutely critical because every wasted step, every lost item, every single minute an employee spends just looking for a product, that is money literally walking out the door. It drives up your labor costs and puts the very products you're trying to sell at risk. All right, for our third and final challenge, we're going to zoom out. We're moving from the warehouse floor all the way up to the boardroom. This is the strategic struggle, that high-level challenge of trying to plan for a future that feels completely and utterly unpredictable. And this is where that tightrope walk we talked about becomes the most dangerous. I mean, if you overstock, all your cash is tied up in inventory that might become obsolete. But if you understock, you're missing orders, you're damaging your reputation, and you're literally sending your customers straight to your competitors. It can feel like a no-win situation. And what makes this balancing act so incredibly hard? It's these massive outside forces. Customer demand is always shifting. Global supply chains can be a tangled mess. Competition is getting more and more fierce, and all of that can be totally undermined by poor internal planning. It's a constant battle. And the consequences of a strategic failure, they can be devastating. We're not just talking about a bad quarter. A poor inventory strategy literally cripples your cash flow, which makes it impossible to invest or to grow. It leaves your entire business exposed and vulnerable to the next shockwave that hits the market. Okay, so we've diagnosed the problems: the data dilemma, the physical puzzle, and the strategic struggle. It sounds like a lot, but what's the path forward? Let's switch gears to the solutions and see how we can build a clear framework for taking back control.
Now this right here, this is the core takeaway of this entire explainer. The path to control is all about matching the right strategy to the right problem. To solve the data dilemma, you centralize and automate. To tame that physical puzzle, you optimize and systematize. And to win the strategic struggle, you have to forecast and collaborate. It's a simple but really powerful framework.
And look, these strategies aren't just abstract ideas. They are enabled by real-world tools and tactics. We're talking about things like cloud-based software to centralize your data, barcode scanners to optimize your warehouse, and demand forecasting tools to improve your strategy. These are the practical, real building blocks of control. Ultimately, what all of these tools and strategies really do is create a fundamental shift in how you operate your business. You move away from being reactive, constantly putting out fires, and you become proactive, capable of anticipating change and actually shaping your own success. See, this is about so much more than just counting stock. Gaining control of your inventory means you're gaining visibility, efficiency, and resilience. And fundamentally, it means you are gaining control over the future of your entire business.
Every single item in your warehouse, every data point in your system, it is all telling a story about your business's health and its potential. So the only question left is this: are you ready to stop guessing and start listening?